Here I'm going to draw a relatively quick version of a 4x8 flat. I take my rectangle tool. I'm going to draw a rectangle that is 48 by 8 feet. And it went up. Zoom to object. I'm going to take a straight line, go across for the top, move it down 2.5 inches. Minus 2.5, and now I can take the mirror tool and mirror that line so it gets an exact placement. I need to choose the center of my flat, and there it is at the bottom. Take a vertical line, snap to the inside of each framing member. Now I have a vertical line that's the proper height. Need to move it to the right 2.5 inches, and I don't want to move it up or down, so that gets a 0. I'm then going to mirror that as well for the other side. Draw the line straight down for the center of the mirror and click. There we have it. Now I'm going to draw my corner block. I'm going to draw a 9-inch line going this way. For the one edge, draw another 9-inch line going straight down. 9, enter, click. Now I can take a diagonal line from that one and find the end of this one that I just made. It's a 45-degree angle. Click that one. This has 3 lines now. Hit X for my 2D selection tool. Select all 3 objects. I'm going to do something called grouping. By hitting Control or Command G, we've now made this a group of objects. Another way to find the group is under Modify, and we have Group there. You can also ungroup if you have to, and you can edit the group. We're now going to move this 3/4 of an inch away from the edges by hitting Command M for Move. We're going to type in for X 0.75, and for Y we need to move it down. So it's going to be minus 0.75, enter. Now we've moved it there. Now I don't really like the look of seeing this line going through this piece of 1/4-inch plywood. After all, it's supposed to be a solid object. So I'm going to zoom in on it by clicking Fit to Objects, and I'm going to edit these 2 lines here. So I'm going to take this line here and move it, shorten it till it meets this triangle. And I'm going to take this line here and move it till it meets this triangle. And now you can't see it. However, now it looks a little bit empty, especially over here at this side, because the line should, in theory, continue. So we're going to put in what's called a dashed line. We would see a dashed line in technical drawings that allow you to indicate where an object is behind another object. So I'm going to draw an independent line, replacing that section of line that we just used, and I'm going to assign it a dashed line, just like so. So I'm going to use a dashed line that's a little closer together. Standard dashed line, and I'm going to put another dashed line right here, going straight up. Click and change to that dashed line. That looks much better. Hit X to get out of the command. Now I'm going to take these objects, all of these objects, and mirror them to the other side. It saves a bunch of drawing if we have it pre-planned. So I'm going to hit Mirror and find the center of this board. And there's the center there. It snaps to center. I'm going to pull this straight down and click. And so there's the other side. Now the dashed lines did copy. It's just that the solid lines are blocking that. So I hit X. I choose this single line, and I'm going to shorten this single line just like so. Click. I'm going to grab this single line here. Now I have to grab it down here. If I tried to grab it here, I might grab the dashed line. So you see selected a line from here to there. So I grabbed the dash line by accident. So I need to select this line here away from the dashed line that's covering it. I'll shorten that one. Click. Terrific. Now I'm going to choose the outside original 4x8 frame just so that I can fit the object and see the whole object at once. We're going to save a little bit of a step for the next part of this project. We're going to delete this line down here because we're about to copy all the lines, including the dashed line up here, by doing a mirror. Click there, find the center of our flat, stretch across, and click. Now we have the dashed lines. We will have to edit. Let's fit to object. We are going to have to edit this line here. Let me just click outside your chosen objects so that you can deselect stuff. I'm going to select this line and shorten it to there. And I'll go over here and select this line and shorten it to there. Terrific. I'm going to choose the large outline and fit to object again. Now I need a center toggle. For this one, I'm going to use the double line tool. We can use the double line tool to draw all the lines if we want. It's just that I'm doing a demonstration on different techniques and your mileage may vary. So we have the double line tool. I'm going to select the center. The little red dots indicate where the line's going to start. And in this case, I'm going to start drawing in the center like so. Draw across. And there's our toggle. We need to add a strap. So I'm going to take a rectangle tool and draw a standard strap, which is 9 inches, 9, tab, and then it's 2.25. It's slightly narrower than the toggle itself. So there's my toggle, my strap. I'm going to select this and I'm going to move it down to the center of the vertical. And then I'm going to Control M and move it in 3/4 of an inch. We don't want to move it down or up, so we're going to put 0 in the Y, and then we mirror this to the other side. And there's our mirror. The last thing we need to add to this is the diagonal brace. Now we could do this with our double line tool, and I can click that and go up 45 degrees, just like so. But we need to be sure that our line is long enough. So 45 degrees, there we have it. Now we're going to double click it so that we can make it a little bit longer. And we need to double click the other end. So we're going to click Fit to Object. Do this end. Stay at the right angle. But it's got this overlap, which we obviously don't want. So we're going to take our Slice tool, or our Split tool, and we're going to go down here to the corner and pull over so we can split it at this line. We're going to press the Alt or Option key because if we, as you can see, the entire, anywhere this line goes, everything's lighting up and being highlighted in red. Anywhere this line goes, if I click it now, it's just going to split everything in all sorts of different places and really mess us up. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that. We're going to hit we're going to select this object, use our Split tool, click on this corner, draw a line this way, and in order to only split our single object that we want, we're going to press the Alt or Option key. And this makes it, this command executes our desired wish, our split, upon just the selected item. So now I click it and I move my hand up slightly. This little flag says we're going to keep this side of it. And I click again, and as you can see, it sliced off the end. And we're going to go over here to the Object Info palette and close our polygon. And there it is, the line is back. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. Let's zoom in on this because we don't want to hit just the corner that was sliced the wrong place. We want to slice it where the 1x3 meets. So we're going to pull down here along the vertical, press Option or Alt, click, and then choose this side to save, and that fixes that side as well, and we'll close our polygon again. Now we're missing our modified straps. So we're going to scroll out a little bit, zoom out a little bit, and we're going to copy one of these straps. Control C, Control V to place a new one. Bring it down here into our vicinity so we're working in the right place. Zoom in so we can get some detail work. We have our object and we want to rotate it to 45 degrees. So we could use the rotation tool, which is over here in the basic tool palette, but we're going to use this box over here in the Object Info palette that says rotation. So we highlight what's in there, we replace it with 45 for 45 degrees, hit enter, and now we have our rotated object. Now we want to place it so that it is centered on this board, and so it is 3/4 of an inch away from this edge, and with a slice so that it has an angle there. So this is a multi-step process. First, we're going to put a marker so that we have our 3/4 of an inch away from the edge. So I'm going to draw a vertical line right here on the edge. I'm going to move that vertical line minus 0.75. So there's the boundary. We're going to take our object here, select it, I'm going to grab it from the center and move it to the center of this piece of 1x3 by finding the center of its end. So now it's centered on our 1x3. Since we have our snaps activated, and we can pull our object up at a 45-degree angle, and we're going to move it up until the top corner hits our reference line, our 3/4 of an inch reference line. So we're going to zoom in here. I'm going to grab this and move it up at 45 degrees until it hits that reference line right there. Now what we're going to do, we know that this corner is 3/4 of an inch away, so we can get rid of this reference line now just by highlighting it and pressing delete. Now we need to slice off the end so that we have an angle here matching the edge of the flat. We need to select our board that we want to cut. Select your 2D selection tool, and we want to select the object that we want to slice, which is this. We want to select the strap. So let's take our slice tool, or our split tool, grab the corner, pull down, and we only want to split this one object, so we have to hold down Option or Alt, click, and then choose this side to keep over here, the little flag, and press again. It's now sliced that corner off, and we have to close our object again. Now let's zoom out and see what this looks like. Terrific. Now we want another one down here, so we're going to rely on that mirror tool again and find the middle of our board. And this time we're going to go 45 degrees down. We're perpendicular from the edge of the piece of wood. Click, and it places our modified keystone or modified strap where we want it. So this is a rear view of a standard theatrical flat. Now if you'd like, you can place a dashed line to fill this in. That would certainly look nice just by clicking your line tool and filling this in just like so, and changing that line to a dashed line just like we did earlier. That's kind of a big dash for such a small place. So I would change this to a tighter dash, the short dashed line perhaps. And there we have it. That looks much better. I'll let you do the rest. So this is a rear view. We're going to label this rear view so that we can keep track of what we're doing. Rear view, escape X to get back to our arrow. Now we want to draw a side view of this, a section view. We're going to choose the rectangle tool, grab a reference marker to the side so we're even with where we want to draw. Pull down and to the right, and we're going to type in 0.75 tab minus 2.5, enter, and this gives us our 1:3, and it's a side view of that 1:3. Now we grab on here and we're going to pull down, zoom out, pan the page up, pull down to this marker right there. We're going to type in 0.75, and then the other number already says minus 7 feet 7 inches, which is the correct length for this board. Click it. So there's a side view of that. Let's go back up here and draw our corner block, because we'll be able to use our mirror tool and take care of a couple of things at once. The rectangle tool again. It's going to be a 9-inch by 1/4 inch rectangle. After all, we know that our corner blocks are 9 inches, but I can just go over there and grab that, and it gives me a nice guideline. I can enter in 0.25 for the thickness and click it, and there's my corner block. Zoom out a little ways. We're going to select the corner block and the top rail. Use the mirror tool, go to the center of our board, pull out our mirror line, and there's the bottom of our flat. We need to throw in the side of our toggle, which is basically a small 1/4 inch box. I missed the mark. If you ever miss a mark, hit delete or backspace and it just backs you a step. So we'll pull this down. This is going to be 0.25 for the first number. Click. I'm going to grab it and simply move it out here. Just line it up. Bring it back so that it snaps to our object. There's that strap. So we have a corner block, a strap, a corner block. We have the ends. And let's throw in a rectangle to represent this modified strap. Grab the top of it. I've chosen the rectangle tool. There's the top. Let's go down and grab the bottom of it so we know the right height. Since it's at an angle, it's not 9 inches anymore. Type in 0.25 for the thickness. Click that. And there's our side view. We need two views in order to build a flat. One is representing how the board is laid out, how all the boards are laid out, and the other is representing how thick the material is. So we're going to grab that as a reference line, and we're going to put section view there. Since we're being detail oriented, we're going to give ourselves a top view as well. So let's grab a rectangle, zoom in, this is a 1:3, so from top view of this top rail, this would be 3/4 of an inch. Now it's 4 feet wide on the x-axis, so in the data bar it says 4 feet. We want to tab past the 4 to the y-axis, type in 0.75, enter, and there's our board. Now we don't want the board sitting right on top of our object, so we're going to simply grab it and move it up a little ways. There we go. Now we want to put on a corner block, which is going to be 9 inches. It's 3/4 of an inch in, so we can grab that, pull up, and then we can hit 9, tab, 0.25, and there's our corner block. And we have that infamous mirror tool to get to the other side. So there's those two. Now from the top view, we would actually see this modified strap down here at the bottom. So let's grab that one. Make a rectangle. There's one side. Oh, we're still in mirror mode. So I'm going to hit delete. Go up here and grab the rectangle. Click that end to start our rectangle. Click on this to grab a marker. Tab twice. I'm going to type in minus 0.25 for the thickness. Click on that, and there's the object. Now what I can do is grab it and simply drag it straight up. Now if you want to drag something straight up or straight across, horizontally or vertically, one way to lock your dragging direction in place in one direction is to press on the Shift key. And when you press on the Shift key, it forces the program to follow the closest straight angle. In this case 90 degrees or 180 degrees, horizontal or vertical. There are other settings where you can go to different degrees, but this is a standard. So we hit Shift and it goes straight up, and there's what our flat will look like from the top. We've got the corner blocks and the modified strap in the center. I'm going to label this view top view. Escape, X. Now let's take a look at the whole page. Now the page is shifted, so that's not quite right. It's because at the very beginning I typed in a positive number instead of a negative. So I'm going to use the Shift page or the Move page tool and move this up into place. And then I can hit Zoom to page or Fit to page, and it shows me my 3 views of our flat.